Dr. Turki Al-Rashid, who is the founder and CEO of Golden Grass Inc., an agriculture and contracting company based in Saudi Arabia. He is also an adjunct professor at the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences at the University of Arizona. And Dr. Al-Rashid will delve a little deeper into the vision, and it's my understanding that he will look at it from the perspective of sustainable development. Dr. Turki, the floor is yours. Would you like to come?
Assalamu alaikum. Glad to be here, but I would like to tell you first, my voice is very harsh, so don't think I'm mad, I'm excited. I'm not. That's the way I was born with it, and I could hope that is you could bear with that. I will also hope that I provoke you and I motivate you to look at it from a completely different angles of what we have. On that note, Mark Twain said, whenever you find yourself in the majorities, you have to stop and reflect. So let's go with the visions. Sustainable Challenges Saudi Vision 2030. Solution. So, what we're saying here is why the vision is important. The vision is important because it is part of Saudi Arabia. It is part of the Arab world. Today we're about 300 million people. Very soon we're going to be 500 million people. And we are in a very turbulent places. If it succeeds, it will have a major effect in a lot of people. A lot of people don't want it to be succeed because it doesn't serve the interest of the 1%. More trouble, more benefit for the military-industrial compound. I think I got it here. Okay. Reduce oil independent. We have to really work on it. Unfortunately, the GCC been talking about reducing oil independence. But if we look at the real numbers for the last 10 years, it really haven't changed much. They are still depend heavily. In some countries, that their number actually went up. It didn't go down. We want to deliver a public sectors, and that's what I think is the major problems in the Arab world. The diversity of the Saudi economy through the lens of the sustainability triple bottom line. When you look at Saudi Arabia, I urge you to look at Saudi Arabia from three lenses. One, Qiblat al-Muslimin. Number two is the World Bank Reserve for oil. Number three, it's in a very turbulent area. Why it's in a turbulent area? Very simple. They have a lot of money. People want to create more troubles, more weapon, more profit for the 1%. $1 billion. One airplane costs $1 billion. Do you realize how much $1 billion we can do programs, whether in the US or in Saudi Arabia or in the rest of the world? We will go here with economic sustainability challenges. I'm not going to go through it too much, but it is food security, economic growth, renewable and non-renewable energy. If you look at the economic growth, urban, rural development, corruption, transparency, just distributions of wealth. If we look at the social sustainable challenges, we look at alleviate poverty. A lot of people think the Arab worlds are very rich. In fact, they are very, very poor. And most of the Arab countries are in a category of a failed state. Reflect, think back. We've been taking war for so many peoples. We've been in war and all conflict, and we're expecting others to solve our problem. They're not going to solve your problem because you have money and they're going to squeeze you to the last drop. If you want to finish your conflict, you have to finish it yourself. And don't you ever expect others to help you. God help those who help themselves. So this is the social sustainability challenges. Alleviate poverty, unemployment, health. Personally, my close to heart is using agriculture, to the roles of agriculture to enhance security, alleviate poverty, and promote economic growth. The environmental, we have to look at the triple bottom line. When we really talk about sustainabilities and we talk about strategy, we think this is something new. It's not. The greatest strategist in the mankind history is Yusuf alayhi salam, Joseph. He have thousands of years ago, he took the triple bottom line. The environment, which is, he said, you will have 7 years of flood and 7 years of austerities. And then he looked at the profits, which is people's income, and he looked at the social involvement. He have converted the visions of King of Egypt into a strategies. To meet those challenges, we have established the bank rules, bankruptcy, Saudization, creating mega cities. I think I am, oh, sorry. We have created the Vision 2030 realization program. If you cannot measure it, it doesn't exist. So we try to make some measurement for it. To summarize, the main success of the vision, it will depend on the involvement of the stakeholders. Without stakeholders' involvement, the success is minimum. Then I conclude my talk. Saudi Arabia's sustainable development is a must, because if we don't, we're really going to have a lot of troubles in the region, more trouble than what we are existing now. We see Saudi vision not only as a statement, but it really has to affect the peoples, and it has to improve their life. I have cut my presentation, and you will see online there is more data on this visions. The solution, I honestly believe, that is the role of agriculture to enhance security, alleviate poverty. Rather than we give, just Saudi Arabia gave $100 million to Syria a few weeks ago. All what it takes, $200 per Syrian family to produce 1 ton of wheat. 1 ton of wheat, that's enough for a Syrian family to feed them for 1 year. So 200 million, we could feed 6 million Syrian. My devoted of my life, what I want to devote the rest of my life to, is to take some small percentage of that money and give it to donations, that is as a programs to alleviate poverty, promote economic growth. Thank you very much for your listening.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rashid.
Some of you might remember, in the 80s, the price of oil dropped from $30 to $7. And at that time, we had about 800,000 foreigners in Saudi Arabia. Then what happened, because of the lack of the capabilities and the credibilities of the public sector servant, they decided to don't depend on technology. And they have flooded the countries with very, very low labor staff. And then their measurement or strategy is 1 square meters per room. So within 2 years, we have jacked the number from 800,000 to nearly 2.5 million. How could we go from here? Let's look at the real problem. I honestly think we should go with artificial intelligence, that is, with Saudis, could replace, with artificial intelligence, we could replace 10 workers, an average salary of 2,000 riyals for the workers. If we get a Saudi 10,000 riyals, that's we have saved 50%. So with artificial intelligence, we could take. You have to understand, Saudi Arabia is a chemical company. It's basically, that's where we are. We make money out of oil. Oil requires only 3% of our labor force. So we need to get something in to hire all these people, and 88% is in the service sector.
Can I
Back again to Yusuf. He had two targets, one which is 14 years, and one is 1 year, which is a growing season. Governments have a limited resources to achieve their strategies. We did have a successful strategies when we achieved food securities. Saudi Arabia did. Egypt have achieved their success on reducing their mortality rate. They were one of the highest in the world, and they reduced it. And then we have Germany for the unification. That's a strategy have succeeded. Now, let's look at the other side of the coin, because the failure is absolutely as a disastrous. When we get the Iran, when the Shah of Iran, he had his strategies to move Iran forward. He have lacked all the supports of the stakeholders. And you know what's the result of Iran? The same with Russia. They have taken the state-of-the-art, peoples from Harvard and the World Bank, but they did not use the the Russians stakeholders, and you know what's the result. So my take is stakeholders' involvement to achieve the Saudi strategies with a short-term goals and a long-term goals. We do need it.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Turki.